video. Today's video is going to be a mixture of two types of videos. In the past, I have done a makeup routine, like a current makeup routine for the winter time, and then I did one for the spring as well. And I wanted to show you guys the products that I've been loving for the summertime, but I wanted to tie that in with a personal attention video. So in order to combine those types of videos, I am going to be showing you the products that I've been using, and then I'm going to apply them to you. So it will be kind of like as if your friend was applying a makeup routine to you guys, and also a show and tell of the products that I've been loving. So I hope that you guys enjoy. I hope that this is a little bit more tingly than just a regular show and tell of my makeup. I have it all in this cute makeup bag. I believe I got this makeup bag as a free gift with purchase from Ulta. This has. I've definitely shown you guys this bag in videos in the past, but who doesn't love a good plastic bag tapping trigger? I actually do not normally keep my makeup in a makeup bag. I have a drawer in my desk, and I just keep it all in the drawer, and then every day I just grab the items from the drawer and apply it. So I don't really need to store it inside of a makeup bag, but in order to bring it into this room, I thought it would be better to use a makeup bag. I just think this one is so cute. So, before I apply the first product to you, I brought a headband. I've been using this headband recently while I get ready, so I figured I could push your hair back with this headband. It's one of the kinds that parts your hair and kind of makes it look like you just have your hair parted in a bunch of different sections. I think it's very cute, but I don't really have a reason to wear it out and about. I don't think I would wear it to work, so I just started using it while I put my makeup on, and I really like how tight it holds my hair back. So I will just put this on you for now. Perfect. Now your hair is pushed back and out of your face, and we have a nice open canvas. So in my makeup routine, the first product that I use is an SPF. I know that I showed you guys for my birthday, I got a pack from Sephora. It was like 12 different sample sizes of sunscreen, and I'm really excited to start using those sunscreens, but I bought this one like a week before I bought that, so I've been trying to use this one up first before I use the Sephora products. This one was just a cheap sunscreen from, I think I got this on Amazon, but I know that you can get it at Walmart and Target. I'm sure you could get it at like CVS or Walgreens, but it's just the Hawaiian Tropic non-greasy sunscreen lotion. It is a weightless hydration face sunscreen, and it is cruelty-free and vegan. It is SPF 30. So I personally do not like applying products with my hands. I know that your hands work just fine, but I always feel like I need to wash my hands if I'm applying products with my hands, and I don't feel like going back and forth to the bathroom. So I actually do use a brush to apply my sunscreen. I know that might be a little bit extra, but that's how I do it. So that's how I'm going to do it for you. I use this brush from Real Techniques, and I just like how it's pretty flat but also wide. So you can cover a lot of space, but it almost acts like a paintbrush. So I will just apply a little bit of sunscreen, and then I will just brush this on your face. I really like that this product kind of has a glow effect. I know glowy makeup has been very popular this year. I personally am not a huge fan of very dewy and glowy makeup, but I feel like this sunscreen gives just enough of a glow without leaving your skin too oily looking. So it's good to moisturize, and I kind of use it as a primer. I don't really wear primer, so I basically just put the SPF on, and then I will use my face products over that. I don't use a primer. But before I get to that point in my makeup, I actually like to do my eyebrows next. So I have shown this in many makeup related videos, but I really love the Wet n Wild retractable brow pencil, and I always get the shade medium brown, but we're just going to pretend like this is the exact color that matches your eyebrows. Whatever color you need, that's what this color is, I promise. So I like to do this as my next step in my makeup routine, because even though a lot of people don't carve out their eyebrows anymore, I personally like to use my foundation to clean up my eyebrows after I fill them in. So right now I'm just filling in your eyebrows. We just do small strokes and fill in the sparse areas, and make sure the tail is sharp. So I just use the pencil side. I like that it is flat because I feel like I can get really precise lines with the shape. And then I actually have a separate spoolie. I like that this one is larger than the spoolie that comes on the pencil. So I just feel like it is easier to brush out the eyebrows with the larger spoolie. And I just wiggle it back and forth and pull outward. I do kind of comb them upwards and then brush them to create the shape. Just out, and down to create a nice curve to the eyebrow. I just think it really shapes the face very nicely. And then from there, I like to clean up the eyebrows, and for that I use my foundation. This is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation Plus Concealer. And just like the eyebrow product, we're just going to pretend that this is the exact skin tone for everyone out there, regardless of what your skin tone actually is. We're just gonna pretend that this matches. Honestly, it doesn't even quite match my skin tone perfectly. It's very close, but it's not perfect. I have the shade CN 0.5 Shell, and I bedazzled the lid, of course. So in order to apply that product, I use a couple of tools. So first of all, I like to use this small brush, and I just grab some of the product. I use a little bit on the brush, and then I just go underneath the eyebrow, underneath the eyebrow, underneath the eyebrow. And sometimes I will do a little bit above the eyebrow, a little bit above, and I try to keep this pretty light, because I don't want my eyebrows to be blocky, but I just think that it helps to sharpen up the lines when I use a small brush around them. And then before I blend it out, I will go back in and I just spread some underneath the eye, and I like to go on my forehead just a little bit to highlight, and sometimes I go underneath the nose, and if I have any blemishes. I currently have a few blemishes, so sometimes I have to cover it up. I've been lucky over the last few months. My skin has been pretty nice to me, but recently I have had a couple breakouts, so I use this. And normally in the summer I probably wouldn't wear a foundation that is as heavy as this product. This product is a little bit stronger than I normally would wear. One of the products that I love in the summertime is the Maybelline BB cream, but I got this product, I think I got it in like February, and there is so much product in here, so I'm trying to just use what I have, and this is currently the product that I have. I actually recently bought an e.l.f. CC cream, but it's slightly too dark for me, so maybe I will try mixing the CC cream with this product to change it up a little bit and lighten it up, because I would assume that the CC cream would be a lighter weight product than a full-on foundation. I don't know, but I normally would not wear this in the summertime, just because of how full coverage it is, but it is what I have, so it's what I've been using. And I like to blend that out with one of these sponges from AOA Studios. They're just nice and squishy, and they're very inexpensive. So I just dab, 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 and pat, 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 and blend out the product. Just blend out the product. When I put product around my eye, I personally like to cover my eyelid because I get a little bit of discoloration on my eyelid, like some redness. So I kind of use the concealer or foundation almost as like an eyeshadow primer and a color corrector for my eyelids. And then I blend it on my chin, and I blend out any spots, and on the forehead. And I do personally spend a lot of time blending out my makeup in the mornings because I can be a little bit heavy-handed. So, especially on my very pale, very light skin tone, if I go too heavy-handed, it can be very, very dramatic. So I like to blend out my makeup a lot, but I will do more of that later on after I apply my blush and bronzer. So speaking of bronzer, that is the next step that I like to do. So the bronzer that I have been loving is this Physicians Formula Matte Monoi Butter Bronzer. I absolutely love this product. As you can tell, I've definitely used up quite a bit of this, and I have a lot of bronzers. I need to use up more of my bronzers, but as soon as I have less bronzers in my collection, I will repurchase this bronzer. I think this will be my go-to. I'm kind of sad because this is only the small size. At one point, Target had mini versions of the bronzer, I think one of the blushes and a highlighter in their travel miniatures section, and my sister bought me this either for Christmas or my birthday, and I love it so much. And yeah, if I could only use one bronzer, this would be my bronzer of choice. And then the brush that I have been using is this brush. I honestly don't even know what brand it is. I think it says Love Something Beauty. Love, I don't know. Oh, maybe it's Lovecraft Beauty. The writing has worn off, so I'm trying to see like the glare of it, but it is brush number 2 that has also almost worn off. I got this brush in an Ipsy bag like a year or 2 ago, but I, for some reason, really love this brush for bronzer. It's kind of like a stippling brush where it is denser in the middle, and then you have some shorter bristles around the outside. And I just feel like for me, it gives a really nice light diffused bronzer look, and it allows me to not go quite as heavy-handed when I'm putting bronzer on. So I just like to get some on my brush, and then I usually start at the forehead, and then I will bring it down to the cheekbones. And then I just blend it out. And I try to get it up into the hairline a little bit, just a little bit, so that it doesn't look like there's a harsh line. And I personally don't apply any to my nose or my jawline. I've tried that before in the past, and I just don't think it suits my face very well. So I stick to my forehead and then right in the hollows of my cheeks. And that's about it for bronzer. Okay, next up we are going to move on to powder. Also, I'm so sorry if the lighting is changing in this video. We are having a very cloudy day, so the sun keeps going in and out of the clouds, and I feel like it is messing with our video lighting, but I hope that it is okay and not too distracting. But I personally like to put on powder after my bronzer, because similar to how I use the foundation to clean up my eyebrows, sometimes I use my powder to clean up my bronzer. So I might put some powder underneath where I put the bronzer, just to brighten up like my jaw line, and so that it doesn't look too muddy on my jaw, and it helps me to blend out the line on my forehead if I use the powder afterwards. I currently have the Morphe Mini Bake and Set translucent setting powder, and the brush that I am using is a Spectrum brush. It is C07 and it is from the Disney collection. My husband got me these brushes for Christmas and I absolutely love them. I love the size and shape of this powder brush. It's very small and very domed, so I feel like it allows me to get up close underneath my eyes and around my nose. It allows me to kind of draw a line to really carve out my jaw, and it's perfect for the forehead and for just, yeah, around my eyes and anywhere that I need to powder. So I just like to dip my brush into the powder and kind of tap it off, and then I will start on your forehead and just pat it in, and then I will go along your jaw and the other side and up underneath your eyebrows, not your eyebrows, your eyes, and under the other eye. And personally, I do get kind of oily around my nose, so I will blend some in there and just blend it out, blend it out, blend it out. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I personally wear a lot of powder because I get very oily, especially in the summer, and it is only getting hotter where I live, so lots of powder is used in my personal makeup routine. And then after I powder the face, I like to go in with my eyebrow gel. I don't know about you guys, but if any of you fill in your eyebrows and you wear face powder, I don't know if it's just a me problem, but sometimes when I put the powder on my forehead, it will like fall onto my eyebrow hairs and make my eyebrows look like powdery and discolored and weird. So I have found that if I put on my eyebrow gel after I powder my face, then it kind of like gets rid of the powdery look that the powder made my eyebrows have. So I've just found that this order works for me. So I'm using the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. This is my absolute holy grail eyebrow gel. I love it so much. If you don't like a more crisp eyebrow gel that really seals your eyebrows in place, you might not like it, but I like my eyebrows to not move at all. If I set them in place, I want them to stay that way, and this product gives me that look. So I just brush it into the eyebrows, brush it into the eyebrows, brush it into the eyebrows, brush it into the eyebrows. Mine is a little bit discolored because I'm actually running out, so we are at the very end of the product, and at that point it just kind of gets discolored. And then I like to go in with the spoolie again just to brush them up and brush them into the perfect shape that I want them to be in. And whenever I use this product, they do not budge, they don't move. I never have an issue with my eyebrows getting messed up throughout the day. I would love to find a more affordable eyebrow gel. There's a couple that I want to try out. I think e.l.f. has one, and L'Oreal has one that I want to try. But for now, I know that that one works, so it's just my go-to, and I will buy it over and over again. Except I might not buy it again because I might try something else. But I don't know. Until I find one that is cheaper, that works just as well, that one will be my go-to. And then next I will put on your blush. I've been using the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Blissful, which looks like that. That wasn't a very good swatch. And for this product, I use another Real Techniques brush. This is the Multitask brush. I don't know if you can see that name on there, but I just think it's the perfect size and shape to get some blush. And I love that it is pink, so it just, looks cute with any blush. And I just brush that onto the face, brush it on to your cheeks, brush it on, brush it on. And in the summer, I do like to put a little bit on the nose, just a little bit. I do feel like by now in the day, it has kind of subsided. It's like 4 in the afternoon, and I put on my makeup at like 5 in the morning. So by now it's kind of disappeared, but it is fun in the morning to apply some blush and bring back some life to the face. And then next, also to bring back some life to the face, I'm going to apply some eyeshadow to your eyes. I have been using this ColourPop Toy Story palette ever since I bought it. Such a cute palette. And I have 2 go-to shades. Sometimes I will use like these glittery shades, the green or the purple. I've worn this pink shade. It has a little bit of glitter, but I don't know if you'll be able to tell on the camera. I don't know. But the main colors that I wear are this champagne gold color and this sparkly brown. So I will apply this gold color all over the eyelid, and then I use the brown as an eyeliner. So for the eyeshadow, for the gold, I use another Disney Spectrum brush. I use the B0 6.5 brush, and it is just this shader brush, and I just dip that into the gold shade and swipe it on the eyelids, swipe it on the eyelids, swipe it on the eyelids, just to give a shimmer, a little bit of a glow. And then to define the eyes, I like to use this shade. The gold shade is called Roundup Gang, and this brown is called Giddy Up, and it kind of has a purplish blue glitter. It's not too intense on the eyes, but I just like the depth that it adds to my eyes. And I don't do too much of that product, just a little bit to add a darker shade to the eye look. And now at this point in my makeup routine, we are near the end, but we just have the final touches. So before I do those final touches, I like to take this Real Techniques 204 buffing brush, and I actually didn't know that that was the name for it, but that's the perfect explanation for what I use it for. This is what I use to blend everything out, like I was talking about before. Sometimes my makeup can be a little bit harsh, sometimes I can be heavy-handed, so I will just take this brush and go around. I go around the forehead, and then I will go down and blend together the blush and bronzer along with like the under eyes, and just make sure it is seamless. I'll go along the chin and kind of go underneath just to make sure I don't have a line going on, and then on the other side and around the eyes, like where my blush goes up to meet my temples, I will blend there, just kind of everywhere along the face, just making sure that everything is as seamless as I can possibly get it to be. And then I will go on to mascara. Sometimes I do things in a little bit different of an order. I might do the blending and then do the eyeshadow. I might blend more and then add my blush afterwards, since I have only been wearing powder blush in the summertime. Sometimes I will add that last so that it is a little bit more bold and doesn't get blended away, because I do feel like sometimes the blush can be blended away pretty easily if I'm just, using the buffing brush and blending it out. Sometimes it can take away from the blush. But the next step that we're going to do today is mascara. I've been loving this mascara duo. It is the Tarte Tartelette XL Tubing Mascara, and then this one from Wander Beauty. It is the Mile High Club in Jet Black, and I like to use the Wander Beauty first to bring some volume. I'll just apply that to your eyelashes, and I personally like to do lower lash line mascara. Lower lash line, I just wiggle and pull the mascara down. I have pretty large eyes, I've been told, so I like to use mascara on the top and the bottom. I know that a lot of people recently have not been wearing lower lash mascara, but I like to use that. And then I go in with the Tarte mascara to separate and lengthen. I also find that because this mascara is a tubing mascara, it helps to make my mascara more waterproof, water resistant. Like I said before, I am quite oily, so in the past, if I don't wear some sort of waterproof mascara in the summertime, then my mascara will transfer up to my eyelid, and I have not found that to happen since I started using this mascara. So I really want to buy more of this mascara when I run out, but I still have quite a few mascaras to use up before I can allow myself to buy another one. But I definitely want to repurchase that in the future. And then we have come to our very final step, which is the lips. I usually leave this until right before I am walking out the door. I will do all of my makeup, and then I'll do my hair. I get dressed. I sometimes even put my shoes on. I will get my bag together, and then my last couple of steps in my daily routine is to put on my lip combo. I put on my wedding ring because I usually don't wear that when I'm at home, like when I'm sleeping, when I'm showering, that sort of stuff. So I will just put this on right before I leave, and then I put my body spray or perfume on for the day. Those are my last 3 steps every day. So the lip combination that I've been using is this Essence Soft and Precise Lip Pencil. It says that it is long lasting, and it is the color named True Me. True Me. This color for me is just like my lips but better. So if you want a lip shade similar to mine, this is a good lip pencil to do that with. And I personally don't only line my lips, I like to fully fill in my lips, similar to how I would apply a lipstick. I actually don't think I own a lipstick. I might own one true lipstick. I just prefer to use a lip liner and fill in my lips completely. So I just line the lips, line the lips, line the lips, and then fill it in. And I like to, blot out my lips and blend that out. And then I top it off with the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Lip Oil in the shade Rose Envy. Rose Envy. I love this product, just like most people on the internet love this product. It's such a smooth lip oil, and it just really adds some hydration and a nice light color to the lips. This is like my perfect lip color combination, especially for a casual summer day when I don't want to wear a super bold lip. I just want to enhance my own lip color. Perfect. So that is everything that I have been wearing recently. That is my go-to makeup look. I do this every day when I'm going to work, or when I'm going to church, or just hanging out on the weekend. I personally have to work all summer long, so I don't really get to spend my days out and about. I think that if I was like going to the pool or going on a vacation or something, I probably would not wear this much makeup because I would just sweat it off, or if I went swimming, I would just, it would come off. But as someone who works all summer, this has been my routine and I've been loving it, and I just wanted to share it with you guys and give you some personal attention as well. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it relaxing. If you like this style of video, feel free to give it a like down below. And if you are not already subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe and join our family. I hope to see you guys all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day or night. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.